Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's Pilates class is all about establishing a basic movement pattern, coming back and trying to make that same movement just a little bit more challenging. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify if you need to, rest if you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class standing towards the back end of the mat with enough room to play in front of you. Stack your legs in parallel, all 10 toes looking to the front of the mat. Feet more or less hip-width distance apart. You can bring them in a little bit narrower if you need to. Stand up nice and tall, tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in. You can stand with the arms long and lengthened at your side, or you can brace them gently on your hip bones. You're going to bend your left knee. Knees are still stacking alongside each other, but you've got the left leg bent. You're going to keep the leg bent for this little balancing and strengthening series. Raise the knee up to about a tabletop height, and then slowly float back to your start position. So lifting and lowering your bent leg to the front. Pretend that you're tugging on a little piece of string through the belly button to pull that knee up, and then release that string to float the leg back down. Let's do 6, 5, don't rush it, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take it to the other side. Bend the right knee. Coming up to about tabletop and back down. As slow and as controlled as you can. I want you to really use those lower abdominals. So visualize tugging on that little piece of string to bring the leg up and back down again. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. We're going to come back to side 1. Same leg setup. Bend the knee. Keeping it bent, bring it out to the side of the room and slowly draw back to your start position. Visualize tugging on that little piece of string as you float the leg out and then releasing the string to come back. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Change sides. Keep that leg bent the whole time, this time lifting and lowering to the side of the room. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Give it a little shake out if you need to and come back to side 1. Same bent leg frame. This time we're going to take it to the back of the room and then float back to your start position. The movement will be a lot smaller than it was towards the front. So you're just shooting for a nice little bubble butt as you bring that leg behind you. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Change sides, shaking out if you need to in between. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Come back to your parallel stance. You're going to float all the way up onto the toes and then reground through the heels. reaching as tall as you can as you take those heels off the floor, stretching beautifully into the arches of your feet, and then ground, whisper softly onto the heels as you come back down. Hands either braced on your side or just relaxed. Inhale as you float up, exhale as you ground into the mat. Let's do 3 more, and then we'll bring it from here into some roll downs. As you complete your last one, from your parallel stance, nod your chin to your chest, hollow out your belly, round out your back, take it into a small roll down, and then restack, realign as you come back up to your start position. Using your breath, so using the whole exhale to peel down, take a recovery inhale, use a whole exhale to peel back up, restack, and realign. Start moving with your breath. Let's do 1 more. And then we'll use half a roll down to come into a plank line. So on your next journey down, when you hit about the tabletop line, soften the knees as much as you need to walk out into a plank line. Hold the plank line as steady as you can. Body line nice and parallel to the floor. Try to brace your core. Try to not drop through the plank line. 5, 4, 3, 2, then keeping that plank line, give me an alternate shoulder tap, bringing one hand off the floor, tapping for the opposite shoulder, and then coming back to your plank line. If you need to, you can open up your legs a little bit wider than you would usually have them, if you find that helps with the lift. And if you're doing this from 4-point kneeling, if you find it's too challenging to execute from the plank line, same movement, but try to keep yourself as level as you can through the shoulders and the hips as you lift one hand off the mat to tap. After your last tap series, find your way back to 4-point kneeling on the mat. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, lift your right arm up to the ceiling. On the exhale, thread underneath your left armpit, thread the needle, dropping down onto the side of your head, but not leaning all of the weight into the mat, rather trying to keep your hips softly stacked over your knees and hold that stretch. Find your way back to neutral. Let's thread to the other side. Take a big breath in, float the left arm up to the sky. Use the exhale to thread. Come to rest on the side of your head. Keep your hips softly stacked over your knees and keep your belly button gently pulled into center. Ease your way from here back into your 4-point kneeling frame. Step back one leg at a time. Find your way back into your plank. Hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, walk your way back into your original start line on the mat, using a little roll up to come back to your start position. Check that you've got enough room to extend the legs behind you. Come back into your original stance, back in parallel, hands either resting on your hips or just softly relaxed at your side. This time you're going to extend the left leg out in front of you, big toe connected to the mat. Pretend that you're tugging on that little piece of string and try to lift the leg up as high as you can, preferably to tabletop or maybe just below tabletop. Just a little lift and lower. Let's call that 6, 5, 4, 3. Try to use your lower abdominals. So think of drawing up from the kneecap, along your upper thigh, along your lower abdominals, and drawing towards your belly button line. Come back to your stance on the mat. Let's do that to the other side. Right leg extended on the mat in front of you. Pretend you're tugging on that little piece of string to raise the leg up, and then relaxing the string to come back down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Come back to your original start position on the mat, this time taking the left leg out to the side of the room, big toe touching the mat. Tug on that little piece of string through the belly button to give the leg a little lift and a lower. So this time, lifting and lowering gently to the side of the room. And don't worry so much about height, just think length through the leg. So give me a long line from your hip bone towards the toe. Don't worry about how high the leg is coming off the mat. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Draw the leg back, give it a shake out if you need to, and take it to side 2. Find your step out position to the side of the room, then float the leg up and down. Arms are relaxed at your side, or you can rest them on your hips. I'm going to call that 8, 7, 6, keep belly to spine the whole time that you're playing. 4, 3, 2, last one. Draw back to your start position, shake it out if you need to, and find your step out position to the back this time. Little lift and lower. Try not to bend the knee and donkey kick up. So just think little lift and extend through the limb as best you can. Hands either resting on your hips or just relaxed at your side. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it back, shake it out. Find your step out position on side 2. Lifting and lowering towards the back of the room, trying to find as much length through that limb as you can comfortably manage. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it back to parallel. Give it a little shake out. We're going to come back to that heel lift. This time, you're going to try to hover your heels just off the floor. So you're keeping the weight bearing on the toes and on the balls of the feet, coming up higher, and then coming to a little hovering position with the heels just off the floor. So a lot more balance and control required. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, find your way into a turnout position from here, a tiny little turnout position. So think Pilates V, heels together, toes softly pointing to the side of the room. We're going to roll it down, keeping this turnout position, so a lot more control required and a lot more activation along the inseam and the outside of the leg. Stand up nice and tall with your chin line parallel to the floor. On an exhale, nod your chin to your chest, hollow out your belly, round out your back, peel down, taking it down as far as your back would like to go today. And then make sure you take a recovery breath before you use the whole exhale to peel yourself back up to your start position. Find a gentle rhythm of your own, working with your breath pattern. Syncing your movement and your breath, mobilizing through the spine, keeping control through the core. Make sure that you're working with your breath and don't be in a rush. Let's do one more full. And then keeping the turnout position, or maybe electing to bring your legs back into parallel, you're going to find your way into a plank line. So if you are keeping the turnout position, as you walk out into the plank line, your heels float off and they're still together along the back line. And bring your legs into parallel. Hold your plank for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. You're going to lift one leg off the mat, try to tap to the opposite foot and keep alternating side to side. You can open up the arms wider if you need to. And if working in a full plank line is not for you, you're just going to come to your plank line and you're going to give me a little lift of one knee up, side to side, modifying your exercise. If you're working the full expression, try to keep your body line as parallel to the mat as you can manage. I'm going to call that 4, 3, 2, last one. As you complete your last one, peel back to your 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Take a big breath in, floating your right arm up to the sky. On the exhale, thread underneath your left armpit. As you find your threaded position, start to creep your left arm out to the front of the mat and try to forge a long L-frame reach through both arms. Keeping your hips stacked softly over your knees and your belly button firmly pulled in to center. Then bleed your way softly back to your 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Take a big breath in. Float the left arm up to the sky. On the exhale, thread underneath your armpit. Find your stacked position on the mat. And then when you're ready, begin to creep your right fingertips towards the front end of the mat. Take a long stretch, reaching as long as you can through both sets of fingertips. Keep belly to spine. Then bleed your way gently back to your 4-point kneeling frame and flip over onto one side. Giving yourself enough room to play on the mat, you're going to bend the bottom leg and you can have the knee at 90 so that the knee is more or less in line with your hip, and you're going to extend the top leg. You can either come down on the bottom arm and use it as a long extended pillow, or you can give me a small prop. Fingertips on the floor, or maybe braced on your hip, or maybe just relaxing on the leg. You're going to lift and lower the bottom leg. Slow as you can, giving me a little bit of a squeeze and resistance as the leg comes back. Let's call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then change legs. Extend the bottom leg, bend the top, reaching from the front of the ankle or the back of the ankle to ground and hold that foot on the mat. You're going to reach long through the bottom leg, but don't claw through the toe. You're going to lift and lower the bottom leg, trying to keep that whole limb hovering just off the floor. So not thunking the foot to the mat, but rather trying to keep the foot and as much of that leg hovering just off the floor as you come back down. Visualize tugging on a little piece of string through the belly button to affect that lift and lower, and try to use the very top portion of your inner thigh to lift and lower that leg. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Extend both legs, hovering them just off the floor. You can either keep your prop or come down on the bottom arm as you begin to trace a small circular pattern through your legs. It's not a big circle. You can maybe, and keep moving in the same direction for a few revolutions. You can maybe use the diameter of a tennis ball or a really small soccer ball as your guideline. And then maybe change it up and trace a few circles in the opposite direction. Don't rush your trace. So maybe inhaling for half of your circle, then exhaling for the other half. Then bend both knees, stack your legs. You can either keep that long pillow or you can give yourself a little stack if you prefer. Make sure that your neck, your spine, and your heels are on the same axis. We're going to play with a little clam line. As you open the knees, you're going to lift the feet off the floor, keeping the big toes together, making a little diamond frame between your legs, then close them down. Open, lift, close them down. So as you open the knees, you lift the feet off the mat, but you keep the big toes together. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to end wide and you're going to tap the big toes together, keeping that diamond frame between the legs. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your start position. We're going to change it up. As you open the clam, you're going to bring your legs into turnout. So the heels together, the toes wide, close them down. Open plie, close them down. Open plie, close them down. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. End in the turnout position and tap the heels slowly together. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your clamshell, push up, give yourself a little flip over and set yourself up on side 2. Finding either a long pillow on the bottom arm or a little prop, bend the bottom leg, knee more or less in line with your hip, and extend the top leg. You're going to lift and lower, giving me as much of a squeeze or resistance on that top leg as you come to hovering just off the floor. So make or find a little bit of additional work for yourself. Keep reaching long through your toes, but don't claw through the foot. Keep the work in the powerhouse. Don't transfer it to the foot. I'm going to call that 3, 2. Last one. You're going to change the leg line. Extend the bottom leg, bend the top, anchor it. And when you're ready, begin to lift and lower the bottom leg, trying to keep hovering just off the floor. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're going to extend both legs, either keeping your prop or bringing it down on the floor and moving the legs in unison. You're going to trace a circle in one direction. Keep tracing for a few rounds in one direction. Try to keep the distance between the legs the same. So you're moving the legs in unison, keeping the feet long and reaching. And then change it up. and trace that little circular pattern in the opposite direction. Keep belly to spine the whole time that you're playing. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll find our way from here into our little climb line. So when you're ready, bend the legs and set up your first climb. Long pillow or small prop, you pick your poison. Open lift, down and close. For your first lift, you're going to keep the toes, the big toes, touching the whole time. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, keep belly to spine, 4, 3, 2, you're going to end open and tap the toes together, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your clamshell. Let's change it up. As you open, give me a turnout or a plie position and then close. Open plie, close and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. As you complete your last climb, you're going to ease your way onto the back. So in the supine position, just wiggle your way towards the middle of the mat. Find a comfortable neutral spine position, arms long and lengthened at your side, and draw your legs into a tabletop position, keeping the knees softly stacked over your hips. Feet and your knees softly clipped together. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, dip just off the center line to the left. Pause. Inhale, come back to center. Take it to the right. You're going to give me a slow, controlled metronome-like movement, coming off the center line, pausing, working before you come back to center. So not relying on momentum, but you're rather using the strength of your abdomen to hold those knees off center so that you're firing beautifully through the obliques. Keeping your chin and your neckline as soft and relaxed as you can comfortably manage. And it's not a huge shift off the center line, just enough to challenge those obliques and make them work. All right. Ground your feet into the mat. Interlace your hands, soften through your palms, and tuck that little basket of support behind your head. We're going to come into a modified crunch line. So you're going to think chest lift with a nice bit of control through the lower belly on the first set. Begin in neutral spine. Take a big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. Imprint your lower back. Scoop to peel up off the shoulders, looking down towards your belly and making the flattest tummy that you can while keeping the head heavy in your hands. Inhale to float back down. 9 more to go. Come back to your first position with the arms at your side and your bent legs in table. Either repeating that tick-tock with a bent leg or bringing your legs into extension, and you can tuck the hands palms down underneath the bottom if you need support. A small drop off the center line, pausing, and then coming back to your start position. Keep the toes long and lengthened, but make sure that you're not tensing and clawing through the feet. Keep your chin line as soft and relaxed as you can manage. And sync your movement to your breath, exhaling as you peel off the center line, and then inhaling gently as you bring the legs back towards the center line. Let's do one more to each side, and then we'll come back into that crunch setup and we'll change it up slightly. So bend your knees, connect the soles of the feet, interlace your hands, soften the palms, find that little basket underneath your head, and take your elbows wide. Let's change that little chest lift. Begin in neutral spine. Tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position, imprint your lower back, scoop to peel off the shoulders, hold that hovering off shoulder position, and then bring your left elbow towards your left hip and come back. Then right elbow towards right hip, peel back down. Rinse and repeat. Peel up, off center to one side, off center to the other side, come back. Working with your breath. Exhale as you peel up, take a little inhale. Exhale as you reach to the side, inhale to come back. Exhale as you reach to the other hip, and inhale as you come back. Working with control, finding a breathing and a moving pattern that is synchronized. Find a rhythm of your own that gives you control over the movement. Trying to keep that scoop position as you dip off the center line, as if you were reaching with one elbow for the hip bone on that same side. Work with control. Let's do one more set. As you complete the last set and come back to neutral, drop the arms long and heavy at your side, bringing your legs back into table or working that extended line. You're going to trace a circular pattern with your toes clockwise and then anti-clockwise. If working with the extended leg line is too much for you, come back into your tabletop line and use your knees to draw that circular pattern. If you're tracing with the knees, you're using maybe the circumference of a tennis ball as your guideline. If you're using the extended leg line, you can maybe use the circumference of a small soccer ball as your guideline. Working with control. Inhale for half of your circle circumference. Exhale for the other half. Making sure that you're controlling the whole time. Let's do one more to each side. Then we'll come back into that crunch line or that chest lift and we'll change it up. Bend your knees, connect the soles of the feet. Tuck your hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide. Begin in neutral spine. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. As you scoop and imprint, float your chin up to the sky. Don't look down towards the belly button. Look up to the sky. Use the top of your abdominals and then gently float back. So you should be feeling the work north of your belly button this time as you float your chin up to the sky, maybe peeling your shoulders just off the mat. Let's do two more. Last one. Float softly back down to the mat and interlace the hands and drop them long and lengthened at your side. Let's find a bridge line. and then we'll play with it. Let's find the bridge first, and then the second time we go up, we'll hold and we'll play. Begin in neutral spine, feet and knees hip-width distance apart. Tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position, imprint your lower back, find that core contraction, use the core contraction to peel up one vertebra at a time, coming nice and high into a bridge line and holding, looking for control and stability through the shoulders and the pelvis. So make sure your weight bearing is equal on both sides of the spine, through the shoulders and through the hips. Reach long through your kneecaps. Then leading with the back of your ribs, articulate back down with the same amount of control. As you find your way back down to the mat, scoop to peel up off the shoulders and give me a little 100 here, vigorously pumping the arms up and down, inhaling for a slow count of 5, exhaling for a slow count of 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. We're only going to do about 5 or 6 rounds. Make this your last one. As you complete your last one, gently peel back down to the mat, reconnecting your head, your shoulders, and your arms to the mat. We're going to come back into the bridge and we're going to look for some more work on one side and then the other. Begin in neutral spine. Tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position and begin articulating up into your bridge line. Once you've found your bridge line, try to draw the right leg into table. Keep that bent leg. Give me a halfway drop, stopping when the two knees are alongside each other and back to your start position. So you're stopping with that foot hovering just off the floor. And you're trying not to lose the integrity of your bridge line by stabilizing and holding the frame on your left. Shoot for anywhere between 5 to 10 of these little knee draws and drops. Keep your chin tucked softly towards your chest. Try not to look to the side of the room. Then find your way back into your bridge and articulate back down with the same amount of control. Find your way into neutral. Draw your both legs into table. Scoop to peel up off the shoulders and give me 5 100s from here. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. If you find the tabletop position too much, ground your feet and repeat what you did the first 100. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly peel back down to the mat. Take a recovery breath or two. And let's find that bridge line on side 2. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. Begin to articulate up. At the apex of your bridge, hold steady. Float the left leg into table. And then give me a drop, trying to stop maybe when the knees are softly alongside each other and trying to hover that left foot just off the floor. Working with control, shooting for anywhere between 5 to 10 repetitions. Keep your belly floating up towards the sky. Then find your way back to your bridge line. Articulate down with as much control as you can. Give yourself a recovery breath once you've found neutral. Then draw the legs into table, scoop to peel up off the shoulders and give me 5 100s from here. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Peel softly back down to the mat and set up your bridge line. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. Peel back up into your bridge line. Once you've found it, float the right leg up to the sky. Leg long and lengthened. Give me a drop. Pull the knees are alongside each other and come back to your start position. Trying to keep the integrity of the bridge line on your opposite side. Shooting for anywhere between 5 to 10 repetitions. Keeping your chin tucked softly towards your chest. Trying to keep the integrity of the bridge line on your stabilizing side. Find your bridge line. Articulate back down with control. Taking maybe a recovery breath or two once you've found neutral. Giving me a 100 with your feet on the mat or your legs in table or your legs softly extended in parallel and shooting for 5 rounds. Last one. Bend your knees, reconnect the soles of the feet, and let's do our last bridge line on the left. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock, scoop to peel up. Once you've found the apex of your bridge, float the left leg up to the sky, and then give me a halfway drop, stopping when the knees are alongside each other, and then floating back to your start position. Shooting for anywhere between 5 and 10 repetitions, trying to stay as strong as you can on your stabilizing side. Finding your way back to your bridge line, articulating back down with control, leading with the back of your ribs, finding your way all the way to neutral. Giving me a 100, feet on the mat, feet in table or legs in parallel. Scoop to peel up off your shoulders and begin your movement. Last one. Peel back down to the mat. And the next little stretch series you can do freestyle, or you can maybe use a belt or a strap if you need to. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of extra room to play on the mat. All right, we're going to do find a bridge-like setup with the soles of your feet connected to the mat, and then kick your right leg up towards the sky. Maybe bracing behind your thigh, or maybe using your strap or your belt to find a big toe hold. And just give me a little stretch there. This feels good. Maybe extending your support leg. Then peeling just off the center line to the left, stopping when you feel that engagement running along the outside of the right leg. So the first round, we're just doing a little ITB stretch. Then take a big breath in and open up that leg all the way to the side of the room as far as you can, floating your head in the opposite direction and trying to keep yourself anchored on the opposite side of the body. Then peel yourself back to center, change hands. As you cross over the midline this time, you can bend your support leg if you need to, bump the hips underneath you, and see if you can bring that leg all the way over into a C stretch, staying there, or turning towards your C stretch, kicking the leg away from you, tucking your stabilizing toes under, and rolling all the way over so that your whole chest is looking towards the floor in a plank-like move. Hold. Then peel your way all the way back to center. Bend both legs, connect the soles of the feet, bring your weight back to neutral. I'm going to give myself a little bit more play room on the mat. Find your A-line stretch on side 2, maybe holding onto the back of your thigh, maybe using a belt or a strap, or maybe grabbing hold of your big toes if you can. Give yourself at least 10 soft breaths here. Support leg bent, or maybe you'd like to work with an extended leg line. Then take a big breath in and come into your ITB band stretch, crossing just over the center line as if you wanted to bring your left foot. It starts in line with your left hip and you're drawing it over more or less to where your right hip is. Then take a big breath in and open that leg all the way to the left while you look to the right. Give yourself a couple of generous breaths here, trying to stay anchored on your right side. Then ease your way back to center. You can bend your support leg if you need to bump your hips slightly off center to the left. And then change hands, start drawing that leg all the way over into a C stretch, either staying in the C stretch or turning towards your kicked out leg, kicking it further away from you, tucking the toes under of your extended support leg and almost thinking of facing your whole chest towards the mat in a plank-like move. Hold. Float your way softly back to center. Realign yourself in the middle of the mat. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Maybe just gently cradle rocking your lower back out. And then taking a little supine stretch here. Extending your legs, extending your arms on the mat. Taking a nice little stretch, reaching along through your fingertips, along through your toes. And then closing off your playtime today by just bending the knees, connecting the soles of the feet. Taking a moment to just thank yourself for making time to come and work out on the mat today. I hope you enjoyed that workout. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Shoot me your comments. Make sure your notifications are on and be ready to work and play on the mat tomorrow. Till then, keep it light.